lady, Pat Abagu, the president posted on the WAG socials. She said, she has a picture. She said, this is to thank Ife, our phenomenal president, for initiating yam cultivation by members, either for business or for food sustenance. We should all strive to join in. Convert any available space around you to farm for yams always. I have 2 yam farms of 30 yams each side on both sides of my house now. It is worth trying. I think this says it all. This is what it is all about. The essence is for us to be able to feed ourselves. Nigeria, as we all know today, has become very, very... The insecurity is what has made growing of yams in the number 1 states, number 1, number 2, number 3 states that produce the highest number of yams in the country. That is Benue State, Niger State, Taraba State. And of course, there are some other states in the Southwest and other parts of the country that also produce yams. But in the North, because of insecurity, farmers are not able to go to their farms. So we all know how expensive things have become. So if we cultivate the habit of cultivating our own yams for self-sustenance, and who knows, I was even reading up on how you can start the farm business in Nigeria, leading to export. I think this is a fantastic, successful initiative that we should all key into. And let me tell you something. I woke up this morning and I saw 2 missed calls from the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. 2 missed calls in the morning. So when I woke up, I called him back. Do you know what he said to me? He said, my sister, good morning, how are you? And I said, I'm very well, thank you. He said, I saw this thing about yam cultivation on a flyer. He said, what is WAG? My sister, what is WAG? And I said, oh, it's a women group that I belong to. Women Alliance Group. Women helping each other. Women looking out for each other and for the youth in our society. He said, when I saw this flyer, I saw your name as the chairman, and I was very excited. And I've called you to say what you are doing for this yam cultivation. God bless you. So you see, in our little way, we really don't know the impact we're having until when calls like this come. And when people like the lady on the WAG platform talk, we now realize in our little ways, we're having and making impact. Today is definitely not a day for long speech making. I welcome you all and I wish successful deliberations, and God bless you all as you listen. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Haji Alami Tumaka, Chairman, Women Alliance Group, for that uplifting address concerning the importance of yam cultivation. At this point, I'm going to call upon the CEO, President of Women Alliance Group and the founder of Enugu Food Daughters Community Development Initiative, Dr. Ife Nwakwesi, for her remarks.
Good evening, excuse me. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm very excited to welcome you all to this very, very important webinar. My chair, Haji Alami Tumaka, I greet you, madam. The royal father of the day, Igwe Enugu na Umunri. I'm sure he will soon join us. And our chairman for today, Mrs. Evelyn Oputu, a former banker and retired managing director of Bank of Industries. Our speaker, Victor Lucian, we're happy to have you here. And I represent two organizations as I speak. The president of Women Alliance Group. I'm also the chair of Enugu Daughters Community Development Initiative. So I'm going to be speaking on both platforms. Enugu Daughters Community Development Initiative actually started this conversation. We had raised some money and we're thinking, what do we do to empower our women and youths in Enugu? Enugu is actually an initiative of sisters, which I was divinely inspired to start with about 2 women. And today we are over 180 women. We did a launch and raised some money and we're thinking, what do we do for our women that can be self-sustaining? Some people came up with the idea of let's buy rice, let's buy foodstuffs for them. And we said, it's better to teach somebody how to fish than to give somebody fish. And so we started having conversations regarding this webinar. And I also introduced it to Women Alliance Group, that I happen to be the president, and Women Alliance Group is also passionate about women and youth empowerment. And here we are today. Please let me mute everyone so we can have some quiet. Let me mute everyone. Okay. I hope everyone is hearing me. There is a food crisis globally, and it may snowball into a recession if care is not taken. We need a system or blueprint for farming that is smart, simple, and straightforward. And the barrier to entry is very affordable. Empowerment and positive impact assessment. Okay, sorry, I was just, okay. Empowerment and positive impact assessment that is result-oriented should also be possible and measurable. That is what we believe we have in planning organic yam in sacks using 100% organic liquid probiotics. And for this reason, we are here today to sensitize ourselves to the possibilities. I happen to be a medical doctor, and I know that the fertilizer we use in cultivating our food is poisoning most of our cells. Let me put it that way. There is a study that has been done, and it's known that a lot of chronic preventable diseases may be occurring because of the poisons we're getting from the way we cultivate our food. So apart from being able to help women and youth to become self-reliant, we're also going to be producing organic foods that are very healthy to the body. So I'd like everyone to please sit back. Victor Osisho is a very, very powerful speaker. He's an intelligent and bright farmer. He will teach us the skills. And if we determine and commit, we can go to the next level of a live event and deciding to invest in the different categories of investments. I welcome you once again, and please sit back and have an amazing experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fema Wakosi, CEO, President, Women Alliance Group, founder, Enugu Daughters Community Development Initiative, for that insight. She says, it's better to show someone how to fish than to give the person the fish. And that's what this yam cultivation training is all about. So I don't know if our royal father has joined us. His Royal Highness Igwe Raf Obuneme. Ekwe, are you online, please? Okay. I also don't know if the chairman of the webinar has joined us, Mrs. Evelyn Oputu.
Yes, I am here.
Fantastic. Okay. So welcome, ma'am. Sure, maybe it was a traffic situation, but we're glad to have you on board. And so I'm going to introduce the chairman of the webinar, Mrs. Evelyn Okutu. She's the former managing director of Bank of Industries, for her opening remarks.
Thank you so very much. I think I will go through the protocol, although I understand our Royal Highness is not, His Royal Highness is not yet here. But I thank WAG and the Daughters of Enugu for organizing this webinar, because it is smart. It is not just smart to empower women. It's the only way to get society and a nation going if the women are economically empowered, because economic empowerment also means that the women can be emotionally secure with proper wellness to be able to raise a family. As we know in the world today, the women are very much responsible for the next generation. And if you do not empower them sufficiently to have confidence, then you jeopardize your future. I call it a passport to posterity. If you do not empower the women to be able to perform the role that they should naturally perform for the society. So I thank you very much, Dr. Ifinwa Kwesi, for this initiative and for the great speaker team that you together to be able to ensure that women understand what it is to have self-respect, dignity, by being able to earn their way in life and not be dependent. Anthropologically, women have been supported by men all their lives, most of the time. But as the world has changed, we have seen that only when women stand side by side with the men will society thrive. And I want to thank you so very much, because we hide under the pretext of culture to say that women should not. However, African women have been known to be so very hardworking and actually nurturing to society. To be able to have them perform the role that they should to benefit everyone, it's important not just to have them working themselves to earn a living, but also to ensure that as they do so, they're migrated from being small business people into medium and maybe take their position as the rest of the world is doing right now. This appears to be a small initiative, not just for nutrition, but building the confidence of women that do not understand how much you're doing. I thank you for this initiative, for inviting me to talk to you. But more importantly, what the women should take away is that women can help each other. We have traditionally not done so. One of the things that still pains me as a woman is that some of those very wicked cultures that we see in our society, the enforcers of those are us women. So I thank you. My face isn't showing. I thank you for giving me the opportunity. My showing now. To speak to the women, I want to take this very seriously to understand the first step. A first step by women for women, where women are lifting you up. Opportunity for other women up. It's not enough for you alone to benefit. It's enough for you to become economically and also emotionally and healthy. It is more successful when we all as a team, because when we all succeed as a team, then we'll grow. I welcome the speaker. I hope you as the speaker will be able to tell us, just like Dr. Nwakwesi has told us, the benefits of being able to eat organic food. Some of the times, because of the cost implication, we pass on what we should be doing because we have to survive and women know how to survive. So I thank you again, Mr. Speaker, and I hope you will not just teach us how to grow it, but also teach us how to make money out of this venture. I thank the women of Enugu for sharing their experience with the rest of us. And I thank all the women who have been sufficiently curious to come on board. For those who have not been able to participate in this free Hope that you can pass the message on to them. Thank you, ladies, and welcome.
Thank you very much. That was the opening remark by the chairman of the webinar, Mrs. Evelyn. Okay, thank you very much, Ma. That was the chairman of the webinar that gave her opening remark, and Mrs. Evelyn Okutu was the former managing director of Bank of Industries. And as she said, that it's important to eat organically, but most importantly, how do we make money from it? So I'm sure the speaker will take us through that aspect of it. I don't know if His Royal Highness is with us. Okay, I think we're still expecting him. Without wasting more time, I think we should just go straight to calling our speaker. Mr. Victor Oluson is the CEO Organic Farming, and he's an advocate of BVS Integrated and Demo Farms. And he will be speaking to us on the yam cultivation using probiotics. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I am so delighted to be in your presence all, and I appreciate the introduction and everything else, and all the powerful speech that has been given. I'm so happy to also be here with His Royal Highness too, and also with all our important dignitaries. Let me see whether I can share my screen now. Can we all hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Can we see my screen also?
Yes, yes, we can.
Very good, thank you. So I want to stand on existing protocols, and I'm really delighted to really listen to those powerful information about organic farming and the result it will give in terms of health, in terms of our health, and also in terms of making money. And I also want to thank for putting this program together. It's really something that is so exciting for me and an opportunity also. Like we all know, yam is not grown by everyone, but it's eaten by everyone. Every country of this world, yam. And because of that, it's something, and we can also hear the experience from our minister that called in, and he was so excited about the fact that organic yamming is something that is being arranged. So it's really something that all of us need to show some level of excitement about. Now, in terms of the fact that this is organic, I tried to do a research online to be able to see, just like has been touched also by our amiable chairman of this occasion, in this particular article on acoptimist.com, it says that in an attempt to feed people by a more easier and productive manner, the food has become full of chemicals that are harmful to our health, leading to many of the diseases we are faced with today: obesity, cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. This is information in this was posted in the year 2016, March 31st. And you will agree with me that the situation has not really that improved up till now. It is only conscious effort. It is only conscious effort from organizations like this our own organization that is trying to empower women and the young ones that will be able to take care of this kind of thing. So that is why we are excited about this program. The reason being that we are not just empowering with this program. If eventually all of us are able to lash on, we are not only going to empower ourselves, but we'll also be living a healthier life. And as a result, we'll be able to reduce obesity, cancer, heart diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all kinds of related diseases that come with it. But before we proceed, let me just quickly talk about myself. My name is, as I've been introduced, my name is Victor Olusan. So you can also call it Olusan, S-A-N. But I'm the CEO of business integrated at demonstration farm, and I'm also an advocate of organic farming because of all the health benefits, as you can see, and also because of the fact that it can also empower us and make our women and children and young ones to make a lot of money for us. I'm an economist, I'm a business developer, and I've been farming since 2009. I started with poultry. As time goes on, I started moving towards aggregation, and most recently, based on what our company's aim and objective, are now looking at processing, packaging, and exports. And that is, and we are not just doing processing, packaging, and export, but we are more focused on the organic value chain. That is pure 100% organic. That is what our company is all about. I don't want us to spend much time on that. So let us move on to the reason why we are primarily here. Of course, this information is also essential, just like I've been introduced, because at the end of the day, if we're able to get it right, and if we're able to get a trust factor in, so we are not just out to aggregate all.
Victor, please, could you unmute yourself?
Yes,
okay,
I've done that.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much. So we are not just out to aggregate all kind of yam that is produced in all the big cities of the world. I mean, all the big cities in Nigeria and everywhere there is farm. No, we are actually trying to work with people we can trust. And that is why this type of arrangement is something we are building on. We work with you from the beginning. We train you on how to use our 100% organic soil and feed booster, which is our probiotics. Now, in the market today, we even have all kinds of probiotics. That's the issue. Some people, in desperation to make money, they are mixing all kinds of chemicals together and they label it probiotics. How do you know? How do you know the original from the fake? It's difficult. So that's why what we are doing is to make sure that since we know what we have and we know what the benefit will be, we would like to work with organizations that are trustworthy. Then we'll start together, we'll do the training together, we'll move step by step from there until we get to the harvest. So it will be easy for us to know that whatever that is produced here or coming from the organization is something that we can really go to sleep. We can really relax and say, yeah, this thing is going to be 100%, no kind of gimmicks, but everything is purely done the way it's supposed to be done. Our channel as export is in North America for now, though we see a lot of potential in over 49 countries, apart from North America, but we don't want to just rush into, oh, let's just be gathering all the cassava, yam, everybody, and let's just be throwing it out there. No, we want a policy framework that will work with partnership from the beginning, like this one we are building together now, so that everything we are doing together, we are having that trust factor that this person did not do. And you are going to see in this training why this trust factor is very important. Because if you go online, you can easily see a lot of training on how to plant yam. And yam is something that God has blessed us with, in the sense that yam can just be planted anyhow and it will grow. You can just cut your existing yam that is probably getting that is rusting away, cut it into pieces, put it into the ground, and you'll be amazed how it will come out. But we don't just want to settle for that. We want to settle for something that is simple, professional, but at the same time, we know we are doing the right thing from the word go. And that is the reason why we want to now discuss some of the market analysis for organic yam in sack cultivation, why it is imperative that we should embrace it now. That is the whole idea. Are there potential competitors? How can we overcome such a competition and then be a dominant force in the yam cultivation industry? Of course, the competitors we have in the industries are the ones that plant with fungicide and pesticides. Just do a Google search on how to cultivate yam, and you are going to see clearly that they will tell you that you should put your yam and soak it into fungicide and pesticide. After which you will bring it out, then you put ash on the part where the rust will probably start from, and then you plant. So just imagine for a second, yam that is already soaked into pesticides. And we all know how dangerous pesticide is to our body, how it can quickly deteriorate our body instantly if we spray our home with pesticide and we just perceive the odor. We all know how our system quickly breaks down, how we start having running nose and things like that. Now we are planting our food with pesticide. You really see that we have a real big problem in our hands. And the only way we can fight such a negative force is to be the positive force. And we know that with your platform, with our dynamic people that we are working with, Dr. Ife is somebody that you cannot really meet up with her energy. That is something I have seen with her during the short period we have worked together. Her energy is exhuming on a daily basis, and with such energy, of course, by the time we organize amazing things like this, and then we're able to consolidate properly on them, we will be able to eradicate, of course, at least get a new ecosystem in place whereby we are sure that fungicides and pesticides are eradicated from our yam cultivation ecosystem. Of course, another thing we also see is that once we're able to get ourselves on the right track and eliminate negative things, of course, we'll now need more youths and women. It will make it better. The more, the merrier. The more people we have, because there's no amount of yam that we produce that is enough. It's not only used for feeding. It's also used for biofuel and other things like that. So definitely, the more the merrier. The more people we have on board, the better for us. Just imagine if we're able to dominate the whole of America, the whole of Europe, and everybody have that trust factor in us that what we produce is 100% organic, and they can easily rely on our supply. Just imagine even in Nigeria here, a lot of people are waking up to organic cultivation. A lot of people are doing that in thousands and in millions. So the earlier we're able to create that niche for ourselves and dominate that area of pure 100% organic, the better we can see a future that is brighter. We also have governmental and economic issues that has been introduced even in our introductory speech. So we don't want to spend too much time on that. We all know that government funding is not usually forthcoming. And when they see us breaking ground like we are doing here, that's why they get excited. When the government always wants to see organizations that want to move ahead despite the situation of the country, despite the difficulty, but you see them organizing programs like this and succeeding with it, having impact, definitely government will look our way and give us a nod of approval. And they say a big thank you. They always want to appreciate such effort. Now, another major issue is cost of seedling at the entry point. Cost of seedling at the entry point. Those are some of the challenges that are faced when we are going into yam cultivation. But as time goes on, of course, from your harvest, a lot of your seedling will always come out from there. Most times, you'll be able to aggregate your own seedlings that you can use to replicate your farm. But at the initial stage, it's always good to get seedlings that are viable that are good enough and that can produce very well for you. And sometimes they can be very pricey, they can be very expensive. But as time goes on, you can overcome that challenge. By the time you start becoming a master planter and harvester, you'll be able to now get your own seed that you can always separate. You can always keep them for your next season of cultivation. However, I know that with our mindset, we will still be able to get to the point where even the initial seedling, because the whole idea is when you now have more people in planting and you're able to aggregate, of course, you know that the more quantity you get, the lesser the cost. That is why individual farming may not really give you the result you want, but like we are organizing a massive entry with our women and the young ones. If we now can have 1,000, 2,000 people, and all of them are ordering like 100, you now know that you now have 100,000 seedlings. Now, by the time you are ordering that kind of amount of seedlings, you can be sure that you can be able to get a better pricing than if you are just collecting only 20 or 30 or 50 at once. So like we said earlier, the planting strategy that is on ground right now is the one that is filled with fungicides, insecticides, and majorly, if you look at the picture on the screen, you will see where I just snapped one of the videos where someone was preparing his yam for cultivation, and see his bucket there, very dirty bucket, and also he's actually introducing insecticides, and he's putting his yam inside. Apparently, they are doing this because they don't want insects to destroy the yam, as it were. But what about the implication of such insecticide on we human? What if these things are the one that is adding up to our diseases that is prevalent today? What if we can have a system whereby we don't even use any of these fungicide or insecticide, and we still have a very good yield from our farm yam production? That is exactly what we are presenting to you today. Yes, and then of course ash is a natural product. That one is at least to an extent acceptable. The using of the ash to cover the surface where the rotting, the one that faces the ground where rot is supposed to start from, that at least is acceptable. But the very first two things that we see on this picture here, which is the fungicide and insecticide, is not something that is acceptable. It should not be part of our value chain, of our production chain at all in the first place. Now, what are some of the pre and the post-harvest issues, and what are some of the efforts that people have made to support farm production, yam production in the past? Usually, when you harvest your yam and you store it, maybe you are storing it for a future sales. Usually, you come back and you see that 40%, sometimes 50% of your yam have developed tuber rot. Somebody recently just called me in and said he was able to buy 1,000 yam tubers, and he was keeping them for a period like this when the price would go up. But on getting to where he kept it, where he thought everything, the condition was okay, he saw that 400 out of them has gone bad. That's one of the major problems. So usually, storage is usually one of the issues that you can have post-harvest. But if you have like an off-taker who can take off your yam, you will discover that you can be able to eliminate that. It will not be the problem for the off-taker and not your own. It's not the problem for the farmers themselves. Disease-resistant varieties, of course, we also know that when you introduce disease-resistant varieties, you are also tampering with or interfering with nature. And sometimes when you interfere with nature, as powerful as nature is, nature is also very sensitive. You don't know exactly what result you could get if you interfere with nature, because God has done all his permutation before he produced whatever we have. Now we are interfering with it. We don't know at what point our interference will expose us to all kinds of varieties of diseases and so on. So it's always good to maintain the naturalness. And I will also tell us the reason why our probiotics or the soil boosters is the best way forward rather than looking at resistance. Let me just mention it right here now before we move forward. Now, with our probiotics, with our soil booster, what it does is that it makes your plant to have high level of strength and immune system, natural immune system. I was discussing with a professor recently, and he was mentioning that every tree, God blesses them with two things: poison and the potent part of the tree, which we use for drug. Now, the poison is actually meant for their own protection. It's just like we have our own personal immune system that is protecting our white blood cells. Now, if you use probiotics, our own, what it does is it enhances that immune system of the plant. It makes it so strong that even if there are weeds around, it will take care of that. It will be able to stand firm, and the yield you are going to get will be bigger. You can even get a yield faster. So, like yam takes about 5 months to harvest, from planting to harvest. If everything is done right and you use your probiotics, what if you're able to get it out in less than that? That is exactly what we are talking about, usually around 4 months. Why? Because it's able to dominate in its environment, because it's having the necessary resistance on its own. The reason why we are using other type of disease resistance variety is because we feel that this yam or any of our plant that we are putting it on, they are not strong enough to resist. But what if you can give it the natural ingredients that will make it strong enough to resist? Then you won't be looking for disease resistant variety, because it's already disease resistant by nature. Now, another pre-harvest issues that we have with yam production is that right now you can only plant 5,000 yam per hectare if you're able to space it properly. But using sack technology, you can double that. Right now, you can do 5,000, but you can do up to 10,000 per hectare. You can even do up to 12,000, depending on your arrangement. So using sack technology doubles your capacity or even more. Now, it's not only that, it also manages the amount of humidity or water level that you need. If you plant on the floor, you are vulnerable to the water escaping into the land, into the ground. But if it's in a sack, you contain your water. Your water level is contained and controlled. So which means the amount of time you need to water them in a week will be much more reduced. So which means it also reduces your labor cost. And also weeding it also reduces your weeding cost, because for the one you do ridges, you just see, you come back there, you see that weeds has taken over your farm. Now you have to employ people to weed them again, and so on and so forth. But these are eliminated during sack farming and technology. Now, ownership of land is also an issue. We all know that, because who is going to give you 1 hectare of land to plant 5,000 yam? Whereas in your backyard, you can easily put as many yam as possible. You can put 100, 200, 300, or 400, depending on the type of space God has blessed you with. Now, poor quality of land is also another issue because of the type of nutrients in the ground. Whereas in sack farming, you can actually determine the quality of your soil that you contain in your sack, which you can even use over and over again. You can harvest and put another one. The amount of soil that escaped, you just put that amount to refill the sack. Very small amount. So it's only your first time that you spend a lot of time trying to gather the soil. But subsequently, you don't really have to do much. Then the gender issue, of course, we know that if you are using ridges, you need either a mechanized farming where you have machine that can do the ridges for you, or you have to hire people with people with muscles who will be able to do the ridges. But with sack farming, it's a smarter way of farming, because you can even do most of the job yourself. You can do it gradually and be accumulating your bags over a number of days or weeks. Before you know it, you have it once. And after that, you don't have to worry yourself for a very long time. You can just use wheelbarrow to bring more of the soil, bring it in the next harvest. When you remove your yam, you can just top up the soil and then plant another one. So it eliminates a lot of issue that it has to be a male, it has to be people who have strength, they have to sweat off before they can create your farm. No. Then distance from home, of course, because most of this sack, you put it in your home where it is well confined. You don't have to go a distant journey, more like in the olden days where you have to travel 2-3 days and you stay there, do your farm and come back home. It eliminates all that. So it's really a bigger advantage when you really have a sack technology or sack system. Of course, we also have people who try to support, but their support you can't really guarantee because some of them, they interfere into the nature itself. Like Yam Improvement for Income and Food Security in West Africa was a project that was supported with $12 million by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And it was led by IITA with Nigeria and Ghana government collaborating with them. And we can thank them for their support. They really tried. But at the same time, we still know that support, you and I have not seen the impact of that on us. Insecurity has also been a major issue. Now, they're also looking at affordable pests and disease-free seed, affordable pest and disease-free seed yam to be made available. Like I said earlier, interference with nature is a problem. Nature can be very powerful, but fragile at the same time. So interfering with organically modified seeds, we don't know exactly what type of consequences it may be having on our organs and our body when we consume such modified seedlings. So it's always good to maintain the original, the natural one, but boost it with natural liquid that is also made from pure natural plants, and that it enhances their strength. Of course, we've also mentioned storage and handling, so we don't want to deliberate much on that again. And also preservation. Some people make it into pando yam processing. Some will dehydrate, you cut into pieces and dehydrate them and package them for them to stay longer, and so on and so forth. But all these things are capital intensive, of course, as we know. But if you have a situation whereby somebody can actually help with off-taking, it eliminates all your worries on that. Now, this video we are watching right now is a demonstration of how you can selectively pick your soil. You can selectively pick your soil that is filled with nutrients, black soil, and other soil. Interestingly, yam can grow in even soil that is not as black as the one you are seeing on the screen here. You can have yam grow very well in soil that is not totally black, but the more nutrients you have, of course, we all know that the better for everyone. And so we are going to, when we start our physical training, we are going to show you how you can source the best of soil for your farming and how you can get the best of seed. Of course, we ensure that you get the best of seedling that you are going to use to start with. And of course, our probiotics will also teach you how you do the mixing and how the number of times you wet your yam in a day, in a week. Usually you wet it twice in a week with probiotics. And then you also allow normal rain to fall, or if it's the time of the year where there is no rain, you also use an irrigation system for them. But what sack technology allows you to do is that you cannot plant throughout the year. Of course, we all believe that usually it's best to plant around the first planting season for yam is usually January, and then another one you plant in April. However, with this sack technology, and because it's just by your backyard, if you have source to good water, voila, all you need to do is to get control over your farm. So that is the way it goes now. What about the barrier to entry? Like we said, this system, apart from the fact that you have, we have our partners who offtake for all the ones that we plant that we know it's organic, and we know it. We use our soil booster, which is our probiotics. We have an arrangement for offtaking for that only. It's not just every yam out there that we offtake. No, it's only the ones that we, because what we are after is 100% organic for all our commodities that we have taken. We have 4 of them so far now, including yam. We have mushroom, we have honey, and we also have fish. Yam is just being added to the commodities which we are taking, and we are not trying to be all over everywhere. We're just trying to start gradually, so that we'll make sure that we work hand in hand with people that are ready to also commit to organic farming, and then we are sure that we monitor from beginning to the end, basically. Now, for the investment categories for organic yam farming in sacks, here we are able to do a breakdown for you so that you understand what are the entry point as it is. So the number one there is, if you are starting with like 50 seedlings, when you are starting with 50 seedlings, your entire setup cost is usually within the range of 40,000–45,000. And by the time you harvest and you sell them, at the market rate, because we usually buy at the prevailing market rate, you are making an additional 22,400. That is, you are going to make your 45,000 naira back, and you are making additional 22. So your return on investment will be for 47,900, 47,400 as it is, while your net profit will be 22,400. Then if you are coming in with 100 seeds, you will be using 90,000 naira to do the setup, whereas your return on investment, your net will be 44,800. For 150, 135,000, your net will be 67,200 approximately. And if you are coming in with 200, so it goes on and on and on like that. So until you are able to do 5,000, your setup fee will be 4.5 million, and your net profit will be 2,240,000. So it all depends on how many you can start with and scale it up. Basically, that is the way it goes. So thank you very much. That is what we are here to discuss with you today. And for all this entire process, like we said, we have an arrangement to do a proper training. You have proper training that will be done on how to do it. Yes, like we said, yam can easily be put into the ground, and God has blessed us with yam because it will just grow. Anyhow you place it inside the ground, it will grow. But I also want to tell you clearly that there is best practice. There are best practice as to how yam should be placed in the ground, which will make for quick rot, and at the same time will make for a very big tuber that will cover for you. And then the type of seed you use from the beginning matters a lot. And ultimately, when you now add our probiotics 2 times in a week, and you mix it properly with the probiotics, usually our probiotics, you get it in kegs, but you just use some few spoons. You get like 4 spoons to 20 liters, 4 tablespoons to 20 liters, mix it in the water properly, and then we show you how much quantity of that 20 liter we go for the number of stand of yam that you have. You don't have to pour. Some people, somebody who thought that he want to apply, he said he applied the 20 liters to 5 ridges. You don't have to apply 20 liters to 5 ridges or for the 5 bags. No, there is just a small quantity that you will need, that you will apply, which allows you to, your probiotics can stay for a long time. So you get your return on your investment, basically, because you are not actually supposed to pour as much as possible on each of the yam sack. for you to get the effectiveness that you want from the probiotics. So thank you very much. This is the much we want to take from the presentation. We can now welcome questions, and I think there are some things that has been coming up in the charts, which I was not able to check.
Okay, thank you very much for the time for the question and answer session. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. That was like fantastic. Very concise and in-depth. In fact, the knowledge gained here is something that will stay with us for a very long time. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Victor Luchon is the CEO of Organic Farming and advocate of BBS Integrated and Demo Farms, and we are very grateful. So I'm sure there are questions, but before we go on, I just want to find out if our Father of the Day is with us. That is His Royal Highness, Igwe. So are you with us? Okay. So we'll just go straight to the question and answer session. I'm sure some people have questions. Please, if you have questions, unmute yourself and let's see you, and just say your name and the association you belong to, if WAG or Enugu Daughters, and then your question.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm sorry I can't show myself because I'm actually in a place where I can't show myself.
Okay.
But so, okay. Good
So your
evening.
name and the association you belong to.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Abimbola Majolagbe. I'm so excited to be part of this webinar. I've been looking forward to having this kind of opportunity. I work with the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture. I'm into extension services, and then we work with farmers. And then along the line, I ventured into a non-governmental organization that deals with organic system of farming. And I belong to the Association of Organic Practitioners of Nigeria. They are the body affiliated with IFOAM, the International Federation of Organic Movement. And presently they are national PRO. And what we do is that we advocate for wellness through good agricultural practices in organic agriculture. So this question goes to the resource person on the issue of the probiotics and all that he mentioned, sir. I just wanted to know, because like you said, a lot of people, they bastardize the word organic without going to the normal procedure. Is there a way that if we are being asked about your certification on the probiotics that, you know, people will want to like, okay, how do we know that it is approved? It has the normal standard for, you know, the application of the organic yam, so to say. And then again, I found out there's a business opportunity that one can also give to farmers. We call a particular program Participatory Guarantee System, which is the PGS, where we try to put farmers into clusters. I stay in Lagos State, and I think that I'm also interested in having a business rapport with the organization, maybe at the end of today, and see how we can bring farmers together in clusters, because Participatory Guarantee Systems also allows our product to be certified locally. Because I feel that we should also look at the local content, the local markets, not everything about the export market. So we also want to build the local market is also very important. And then lastly, on the issue of the return on investment, I want you to explain better, because is it that we just give you the money and then, or maybe we have this after the training, we do this in the house, and then I just wanted to explain the return on investment, how it's going to look like in terms of the production and everything. Thank you.
Okay, so over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate those questions. Now, for our own probiotics, we are actually looking at, in fact, the person that, fortunately for us, I'm always very proud when I when I know that something is actually coming from Africa, and not just Africa, from Nigeria. Our probiotics is actually something that is produced by a Nigerian, though he's a specialist that is based in United States, but he is a Nigerian doctor, if he knows what I'm talking about. But recently, what we are doing is I've even started talking to our partners that we want. In fact, there was a time we went together to meet NAFDAC, and we are looking at producing 100% of everything here in the country, because we have checked and we have seen that all the local materials, the natural content that is used, 99.9. In fact, let me just say 100% of it can be found locally. And so in order to bring to make sure that it also provides job locally and not to the foreign country, we are also looking seriously at how we can bring the production into the country. It's just some funds that we are waiting for in order for us to be able to do that, because of course it's also capital intensive to start up that, basically. So it's 100% organic, it's 100% Nigerian, and the inventor and the producer is also a Nigerian. So we are looking seriously at working with NAFDAC. We have done visitation. I was part of the people that visited the NAFDAC madam. I've forgotten her name now. And we had a very promising discussion as to how they will be able to facilitate to assist us in terms of giving us the NAFDAC number for the something, as we are going to be producing from Nigeria. Then the next one, if I remember, is about the investment plan. Now, for the investment plan, this is how it goes. The arrangement is that each person will look at, I mean, of course, depending on who is going to empower, whoever is empowering the individual. If you want to say, okay, like I'm empowering 10 people, and I want the 10 people to have 50, 50 seedlings, as it is. So if you want them to have 50 seedlings each, so what we just did was to do a calculation for you to be able to see, okay, for 50 seedlings, this is, we are going to buy the seeds. 50 seedling seed is like 300 naira right now. But if you buy it in quantity, I'll probably be able to get it as low as 250 naira. Or let's just use 300 naira for your calculation times. Let me just bring out my calculator quickly. Okay, so for instance, you have 50 seedlings and you times that by 300 naira, that is 15,000 naira. Then you buy sack. The sack varies in price from location to location. You buy 50 sacks times, let's say it's 100 naira. Some places it may be more. That's 5,000 naira. You add it up to that, that's already 20,000. Then the soil itself, you either go into the farm where you can get the soil and pack them into the sack and move them to your house. If you can get one just close to your house, well, fine. You are very fortunate. But what if you cannot? You probably have to, like when I was doing the project here in my house here in Abuja, like the picture you saw there was my project. I was able to get a tipper load of organic, what's it called? The soil, the black soil. The tipper load was 10,000 naira, about 10 to 15,000. Then I'm able to get all the 50 bags. I did 70 bags. I was able to get the 70 bags out of that. So you add that one up to the amount, it's you to 35,000. Then probiotics, 1 liter, depending on if you buy it in quantity with others. That's why we say if we do it together, maybe you are empowering like 100 people. Of course, the number of liters you buy will be higher, and then the the price will go down. The price for the liter is about, let's say 4,000 naira for a liter. And that 1 liter, you should be able to, it should be able, 2 liters should be able to serve you for the period of this 5 months for 50 conveniently. So if you add that, that's about 8,000 naira to 35, that's already 43,000. Then, okay, maybe you need a watering can and some other few miscellaneous. So by the time you add everything up, it will come down to like 45, 47,000. Then you wait for the period of, 4 months, 5 months. At the end of the day, you bring out, now that's another beauty of sack. When you are harvesting, you don't have to struggle with a hard ground like you see those harvests being done, which you have seen before. You don't have to struggle with hard ground because it's in sack. It's easy for you to just, anybody can harvest, a male or a female, a young person can do the harvesting. So you can eliminate all those costs of saying, okay, let me get people that will harvest for me and pay them 2,000 naira for 50 or thereabout. You eliminate that cost. So by the time you harvest, you now sell the 50 yam sack for, each of the tuber for 900 naira each.
Call me, just continue.
If you sell for 900 naira each, so that is, you are going to get 45,000 naira. So, but we are now saying, okay, that's, usually you get, a seed will not produce only one, so sometimes it produce 2 or 3. So at the end of the day, you get like, sorry, I'm coming on 50, you probably get like 70 tubers, about. Like 70 tubers. 70 tubers. You sell for 900 or 1,000 naira at the case maybe, depending on the price, prevailing price. That's about 63,000. If you minus 45,000 from there, good. It gives you, within the range of 18 to 22,000 naira. That is the profit you are going to be making. But mostly it could be more than that because you might see some that will give you up to 3. You might see some that will give you 2. Hardly do you see, but we instead of using that for calculation, we say, okay, let's just find an average. Say, okay, you have a tube, 50 seedlings produces 70 tubers for you. Then you have made your profit. But remember that by the time you come back again, some of these things you bought, you are not going to buy them again. You are not going to buy the sack a second time or even a third time. We can serve you 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You are not going to buy additional soil like you did before. You can only go and top it up based on what the tuber took away from the place, usually very small, insignificant. And the only thing you probably need to buy again is your probiotics and maybe your water that you use, basically. So the next time your profit will move from 18 to 22,000 for the same number of tubers to like 30,000, 30 to 35,000. You'll probably be making double the amount of time and investment, time and effort you put into it, the second cycle and the third cycle. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We're going to take 3 more questions, but please make your questions very brief and so that we can round up. Okay, someone is asking, what is the land space for, say, 100 sacks? Someone just asked the question.
Okay.
And the person said, what is the land space for, say, 1,000 sacks? That's Mr. Gbenga is asking, what is the land space for 1,000 sacks?
Okay. We have just done, it was mentioned in the presentation for 5,000. So you can do your calculation backwards for 5,000. 5,000 sacks will take like half an hectare. That's what you will use as against 1 hectare. So for 1,000, So for 1,000, you'll probably be looking at 2 plots max, or a plot of land we can take 1,000 sacks for you. A plot of 100 by 100, not 50 by 100.
Thank you very much, sir. Any more questions? If you have a question, please identify by speaking up or mute yourselves. Just say your name and then ask your question.
Good morning. Good evening, everybody. This is Ms. Antonia Okereke, and I logged in from the United States. Thank you, sir, so much for bringing this, to us. This is very, very encouraging, and I tell you, this will impact the lives of many, many people. My question is, one of the questions I had actually have been answered. I was concerned about the content of the probiotic, because, all the rumors that was going, all over the social media about Bill Gates and all the things, they went. So I wanted to be sure with all the infertility stories, there is no smoke without fire. So just, but you answered it that this, it was invented by a Nigerian, the probiotics. So that makes me very comfortable, with that. My other question then is this only going to be for Nigeria? Because, we here in the diaspora, we love our yam, but it's very, very expensive. Is there a plan that we can also begin to cultivate this in our backyards, to have something even for individual use?
Okay, so over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. It can be done anywhere in the world. It's the same principle.
Okay.
Principle, yeah.
Okay, so how do we get it? Like if somebody lives in the US.
I think it's something we have to look at. I will have to check with my partners who are in the US also, and then we'll be able to pass the information to Dr. Efi on how we can go about that.
Okay. Thank you.
So do we have anyone who wants to ask a question?
Hello?
Okay, your name and please be brief with your question. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening. My name is Lawal Coyote, Zito and Rose Farm, Sekwe. I would like to know the best sack to be used. Is it cement sack or feed bag? That's my question.
You got the question, sir?
Yes. Both of them are okay.
Okay.
The cement bag is usually, if you even use a bag that is like rice bag, it's still okay, only that you can be able to plant like 2 inside, but for portability and for convenience, it's always good to use the cement bag or the, what's it called?
Feed bag.
The feed bag, yes.
Okay.
But you just make sure you fill it to almost to the top, basically, because of the size of your tuber.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any question? Any more questions? At this point, I would like to call on the head of Charity and Impact Women Alliance Group, Wendy Tabasi, for closing remarks. Is Wendy there, please?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I've been super excited since our president brought up this seminar. And I've followed all the announcements and I've been waiting patiently, and I'm glad it is finally here. And I do see every reason why this seminar should have held. Thank you so much, our president. Thank you, our chairman, Hajia Lamitumaka. Thank you, everyone who has attended. It's obvious that Dr. Ifeanyikwesi's passion in making sure that this this seminar held today is very well placed, and I want to say thank you on the behalf of the ladies in WAG, especially WAG Charity and Impact, because we're interested in making sure that the lives of the less privileged are made better. Thank you so much for your thoughtfulness, and we're looking forward to better discussions and proper trainings. And we want to thank you, Mr. Victor Olusan from BVS. Thank you so much. We look forward to better times with you, better opportunity to get deeper into this. And I hope everybody, I just wish everybody well, and hope that you're taking away something, because I am taking away so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Wendy Tabasi. I will also call on Unoma Adeniji for her vote of thanks from Enugu Daughters Development Cooperative Initiative. Is she on, please? Unoma Adeniji.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's my stand on the protocols, and it's my pleasure that that I got the time to attend this seminar. When it was thought through, it was like a lot of people had that anxiety as to say, what are we expecting? And when it comes, how are we going to handle it? But from what has happened this evening, from the discussions, and from the experience that has been shared this evening, it's obvious that we are actually in the right direction. And Dr. Nwakwesi, who had been very passionate about this, has seen it to come through to this level. It's actually, it's something that we are all grateful for, and for the energy that she has put into it. So I believe that after this, a lot of people will make efforts to attend the live seminar, the live training, and be able to take it from there. And like she said from the beginning, it's better to teach one how to fish than to give fish to the people. And so we say we are very thankful for this event, and for the speaker, for the facilitator, it was such an experienced presentation, and a very fruitful one for that matter. And we say thank you very much. And to our royal father that accepted to grace this occasion, we also say thank you, our royal father. And for the chairperson or the president of WAG, Hajia Tumaka, we are grateful. You are always there for us. Each time we beckon on you to give us the support. We thank you very much. And I hope that with this experience, we'll go out and make good of this experience, and have a lot of people be liberated by at least plunging into this business, at least starting from a small scale and grow to a larger scale. Thank you very much. And we're quite, it's quite exciting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Unoma Adeniji, from Enugu Daughters Development Initiative. At this point, I would like to call on the President, CEO of Women Alliance Group and the founder of Enugu Daughters, Dr. Ifeanyi Nwakosi, for her closing remarks. Ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ramatu, a very amazing moderator all the time. And I just want to seize this opportunity on behalf of both Women Alliance Group and Enugu Daughters. I happen to be wearing 2 caps here. I want to thank immensely our beautiful, elegant chairman of today, Evelyn Opute. Evelyn, we're so happy you could make it. She's very, very passionate about this area, women and youth empowerment. And she has actually already given me some very, very powerful introductions, which I believe I'm going to work and make sure it becomes fruitful. I want to thank everyone that has come here, like my Wendy Tabansi and Unoma has said. We're going to continue the conversation in the live event. And we do believe that anyone that is trying to be self-reliant, if they key into this project, we may even begin to have a lot of millionaires. This is how it starts. We thank God for today. Victor, we're very grateful. Haja Lami Tumaka, my chair. I greet you for your encouragement and your support all the time. And all the members of Women Alliance Group that are here, I salute you all with our work sisterly love. My Enugu sisters, you know I love you all to the moon and back. Thank you all for coming, and please have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ifeanyi Nwakosi. We appreciate you for your vision. At this point, we'll take the national anthem. Okay, we've come to the end of a very fruitful and successful webinar. God bless you. Don't forget, 28th of June, Tuesday, 28th of June, for the live presentation of the training. God bless you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much.